You ever watched a commercial where it's like it's a car commercial? We'll just say Toyota Tundra, and they're running it through a creek, running it through muds, over sand dunes. Then they're in Antarctica, riding that thing over glaciers, doing all this crazy stuff. And then they have it on a racetrack. I mean, this truck apparently can do it all. But if you look real close, underneath in real fine print, it says, "Do not attempt."
Right.
Really wasn't planning to with my $50,000 truck. I wasn't really planning on taking it over sand dunes.
You also don't need a $50,000 truck to haul a pallet of fertilizer. Like, I mean, you could.
Well, that helps, but my point is, if I'm going to go driving through a creek, it's not going to be in a brand new truck. I see a lot of trucks on the road. I don't see very many of them covered in mud, covered in shit. Now, the ones that you do see in mud, I parked the other day. I parked next to this Jeep. It was one of those, Renegades or whatever, the Wranglers, whatever you call them. The ones you can take the doors off and all that. This thing was so covered and caked with mud, like they were wearing that like a badge, like with pride. Like they were not going to wash that car ever. Like, did you see what I did to this truck?
We are in the South.
That was fun.
Yeah, we are in the South.
Yeah, it's like paint. No, mud.
One thing I forgot to mention that didn't bring up, I don't believe, is Dan Aridor of Isreal.
Aridor, yes.
Aridor. There you go. Nice.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Hey, that's a good one. Anyway, he says within a year we will have the cure for cancer. And my prediction is that within a year, Dan Aridor
is going to be dead.
Will fall off a cliff or something.
Yeah, he'll be in a one-car tragic accident. He'll be taken out by the Hamas,
or shoot himself twice in the head somehow.
My theory is we've had the cure for cancer, but that's for the elite.
Well, there have been others that were close or were studying it or claim they had it, and they did pass away, kind of in strange circumstances. So,
all right, I got one for the government. They need to straighten this shit out. All right, now this is just the oozing ball of an idea. I'm gonna throw the idea out. It's up to them, the powers that be, the geniuses, the bean counters, to polish this ball and make it a shiny chrome ball for all of us. I got an idea for how they can lower the amount it's costing us, which is government money. Oh, well, that's the government money. No, the government money is our money. All right, all of us who pay taxes. It's our money. It's not their money. And I got a way for them to save us a lot of money with health care. Do you know that branch of the government, segment of the government called the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, or the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture? How about we make them do their fucking jobs? How about that? Because you know why we're sick? Do you know why we're dying? Do you know why we have all these weird ailments and diseases going on? He's got ADHD. He can't focus in school. This kid has autism. Got a nut allergy. Everything, Crohn's disease. All this crap, okay? I guarantee will be fixed. Now, it might take one generation. If they would not allow all of this preservative, ridiculous crap to be put in our food. If the FDA and the USDA would stop siding with corporations who make our food and allowing them to put low-cost additive crap into our food. I mean, Taco Bell, their meat is, at one point, it was 70% silicone. Okay, filler.
What the
filler.
Hell?
Filler. I don't know what it is today.
Can that be ingested? Like,
I'm just telling you, it's not 100% ground beef. It's death.
Well,
but it's a 99-cent burrito and it's delicious. Yeah, you're an idiot.
At CES 2019, one of the hot new things that they actually unveiled there, which has nothing to do with electronics, was a grown beef patty, like grown in the lab. So it's not beef, but it bleeds like beef. If you cook it rare.
I'm not eating it.
all that. And White Castle's interested, and they want to put it on the menu. So,
Well,
tastes just like beef.
so let's make healthcare costs rise. I think if the FDA and the USDA and all the powers that be, our government money, our tax dollars fund, if they would actually start looking out for us, giving a shit about us, we might not have all these problems, and our healthcare costs in return would go down because we're not sick. Because of all the crap that they... Next chance you get, when you're in a grocery store, go there when you got some time, okay? Take a box of cereal. Take a box of anything off the shelf and read the ingredients. If it has shit that you cannot enunciate, all right? If you have a high school education and it has words that have 9 syllables in it, don't eat it.
But that would be everything.
No, it's not.
It's hard to...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You know, this right here says glycerol ester of rosin. I mean, come on.
Okay. Well, that's poison. And the FDA and the USDA, respectively, they allow that shit. They allow it. And Coca-Cola, who owns Minute Maid, is more than happy to stuff that in there because it helps their bottom line. It helps their bonuses. And it gives them more money to waste on stupid commercials for $3 million a clip during a Super Bowl. Because that's what matters to them. Brand recognition, not your health.
I think a lot of it with the food products come from first of all preserving it, making it last longer so they can sell it for a longer period of time. It can stay on the shelf. And then also, you know, just like with Philip Morris, you know, was how to make it more addictive.
Bottom line is our own government agencies that we created to protect us, and our tax dollars fund to protect us and to keep us from these things, they allow the toxins that is poisoning all of us and thus increasing healthcare costs.
Yeah.
We could save a lot of money just by not eating shit. You go to France, they're all eating baguettes, you know, bread loaded with butter. Notice 2 things. Number 1, they're not fat. They are not an overweight culture over there. They're all in decent shape. So obesity is not a problem over there.
And the butter's like dark, right?
Their bread is made from wheat that is different from it is here. Here we have genetically modified wheat to grow, say, 3 to 4 or 5 acres in the same space as 1 acre and still yield just as much. So our wheat is genetically modified. Theirs is not. So that bread is safer to eat. The butter that they're using is a dark color yellow. That dark is a grass-fed, high-fat, high omega fatty acid, good butter. That stuff's actually good for you. Stop eating margarine, by the way. It's poison. Do not eat it. If you have it, throw it away right now. Go buy butter, real butter. Look at the ingredients. It should say milk or cream and maybe salt. That's it. If it has anything else in it, maybe olive oil. Throw it away. So yeah, that's why. Because they don't. Their government does pay for their health costs because it's socialist society over there. So or government. So it is in their best interest to not have their citizens be poisoned by their own food supply. Ours, however, is not. They don't care about us, man. They don't care. Check your text messages real quick because, you know, we're not podcasting or nothing over here. I get those all the time. It's just a GIF or a GIF. I always thought that GIF was J, like the peanut butter. Don't you know how to send a photo from the photos?
No.
Golly. I'm wired for sound, man. Let's go. Playing around. No niños en la canasta. I'll say it again. After you get through jeweling. What do they call that? Hitting a jewel?
This is a jewel.
I know that, but the kids, they got a little term for that, hitting a jewel or something. I always thought hitting a jewel was getting punched in the sack. No niños en la canasta. Okay, I'll slow that down. No niños en la canasta.
Gordita.
Now, could you understand what I said a little bit better? No. What does no mean? No. The same thing in English. Niños. You know what niños are, right?
It's like an empanada.
Children.
Oh.
Children. Babies. Kids. En la is in the. Canasta is like a grocery cart or a buggy.
You know, there are certain people in my life that are going to be pretty upset that I can't follow this.
If you can't tell, that's where I got that from. It was written on a grocery cart. It said, "No niños en la canasta." I think I would be more enticed to learn Spanish if they'd slow down, man. I can't understand what. Whoa,
they're at a quick clip.
So I went through my memory base. Now this is written like English because they'll put the verb here and the noun there and the adjective there. So they don't. Their sentence structure is different than ours. But Metal e Hipotecas es el mejor podcast que nadie ha visto. It's the best podcast nobody's ever heard.
Nice.
That's right. Metal and Mortgages. Anyway, I don't know why, because I had a couple guys come over and dig up the old septic tank, which, by the way, is not under my deck. So I ripped out my deck pretty much for no reason. It's like this much under my deck, which technically they would have tore it up with the backhoe.
God, I hate that.
Backhoe. But I wanted a new deck anyway. I hated that deck, to be honest with you. I've always hated it. So not a big deal, but those guys were, they immigrated here. We'll just put it like that. They were nice guys, cool as hell. They knew English too, but they would laugh at me and stuff because I would say stuff. And as he said, I was gonna call their boss and ask him if I can pay with a card. And they were like, "Yeah, when you call him, tell him Hoto. Say, hey, Hoto, how much?" Hoto is a derogatory term for somebody who's gay. So yeah, that hopefully we don't get banned from YouTube for that one. When they were talking back and forth, I was like, and it's like, slow down, man. I'm not trying to be Beto O'Rourke here, but slow, bro. Relax.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, and I guess they do it in other languages too, and they talk it so fast. I wonder if when we speak, if it seems fast to them, it's like, hey, ease up, essay.
I think it might seem a little retarded because the English language.
You're not allowed to say retarded anymore.
Oh, get the hell out of here! Norm Macdonald got a lot of flack for that as well. So,
well, you can't say it. You can't. Say
you know what he did? He was on the Howard Stern show, and they said something. He was explaining something, and he was going to say retarded, but then he stopped himself and he said Down syndrome
or something like that. Yeah.
And then all these people with Down syndrome. Can we just stop accusing people that make comment about something? They're trying to be descriptive. It doesn't mean they hate a certain demographic of people or they're racist or sexist or anything. They're just speaking off the cuff. We're getting out of control here. We're just,
I'll go ahead and tell you everything I know about Kamala Harris, Senator Kamala Harris, or Congresswoman, whatever the hell she is. Who cares? She was district attorney of California. She prior to that, she basically, when she was 30, she met a guy who was 60. He was a politician as well, and I don't know how a 30 and a 60-year-old have anything in common, other than she's got an innie, he's got an Audi. But she basically her way to the top, and I'll go ahead and say it right here in public. I don't care what she says about me. She her way into jobs. He openly admitted that he got her jobs that she probably wouldn't have gotten on her own. Well, she's running for president now. She is quite the idiot. Now she's catching flack from her own base because she's married to a white guy. She's I guess has black, but I've seen it. Has Indian parents, Indian like the country Indian. So I don't know, man. They constantly put their feet in their own mouths and just say stupid shit all the time, and it's like it just never. Remember, I think a couple episodes ago, I predicted 200 Democrat candidates for president here for 2020, and I'll just go ahead and say we're probably about a quarter of the way there, and we're only a month and a half into the coming out.
Speaking of people running for president, Rogan had someone on his podcast,
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. One of his main ideas on it is universal basic income, which a lot of people call, which I call a living wage. I think it's a great idea. He does explain a lot of things that worry people about that idea, because it is like a couple $1 trillion to provide that for everyone. But he's proposing $1,000 a month. But basically what he's saying is
that's
a lot
not
of
everybody though.
Right. If you already,
I think what he was going at was it's projected that self-driving trucks are going to kind of take over, and there's going to be a lot of truckers out of a job. So if technology has kind of kicked you out of a career, the average truck driver is 49 years old. I think the trucking industry, the number, I'm just going to ballpark it from memory. I think they said that the trucking industry will save $168 billion a year not having to pay truck drivers. That's a big number. So kind of the idea would be to tax these self-driving trucks, and to the point where it could pay the truckers that have been kicked out of a career by technology.
Right. And he also addresses concerns where, yeah, a couple $1 trillion sounds like a lot. However, the people that are already on welfare and these other type of government programs, you don't just get the $1,000 on top of that.
If you're getting $600 worth of food stamps, then you get $400 supplemental income cash
to make the
check,
total
to make
$1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And he's correct in saying that in low income areas that contributes a lot to incarceration rates and medical bills in these areas. And so you'll see money back. We'll be saving money by providing this basic income, but also they'll be spending money as well, which circulates it back through the economy, which is fine. But the problem I see with this is that, and I'll just flat out ask you, is $1,000 a month, is that enough to provide food, rent, and utilities to where you're not worried?
Well, I mean, some people are already getting near that in Social Security, and not just, when you think of that, you might just think of old people, but sorry, but this is good beer. And that's not the case. I know people that are my age that get what I just call it, because I think it's a funny term. They get a crazy check. They get a check because they paid a lawyer, $1,500, $2,000, whatever, to get them on Social Security or like a disability kind of thing, and they get a crazy check, and they occasionally smoke a lot of weed, maybe get them a 20 rock, but they're not addicts. And their mom and dad give them a house. They have an old house that they don't live in. They put a pool table in it and a big screen TV, and their kid leaves them alone. I know that's ridiculous. I would never do that for my kid, but people do that. I've seen it. I could name 5 people right now that are living that life. And so giving them an extra $1,000 a month, yeah, that would probably make a difference in their life. Now, if he's talking about above and beyond social things that people have already earned, because I mean, this guy worked up to a certain age. He used to make pool liners and stuff. So I mean, this guy, he's worked and paid into the damn system, so he's just getting back what he's put into it. So I don't think his income there should be affected by this $1,000 a month. I don't think it should make a difference. Like people who are getting food stamps, well, they didn't earn that,
right? And Social Security and disability and things of this nature, they're usually around $1,200 to $1,500 a month. The problem I see here with this, I agree with this guy's idea. Like I've said before, this is great. This is where we need to be moving towards. But he's coming up short by about $500, I think.
That's going to be geographical too. I mean, nobody could get $1,000 a month.
Well, either way,
New York and actually survive.
Either way, these government programs, they place them in, and then it comes up a little short. It's not quite. It doesn't quite fix the problem. It puts a Band-Aid on it. And then it gets labeled as a failure, bad idea, and then the Republicans come in and want to remove it and whatever, and then nobody ever looks at it again. Well, the problem is the total is wrong. You can provide a living wage or universal basic income for someone, that's fine. But placing it at $1,000 a month, that doesn't completely take away the worry of food and shelter and utilities. If you're going to do something like this, do it all the way. Let's get it done, get it taken care of, and have it to where they do not have to worry about their utilities, their food, or their shelter. And that's it. What?
I'm crushing your head.
Oh, God. Anyway, point is, I think, what's his name?
Andrew Yang.
There you go. I think he has a great idea. I think that, a lot of jobs will go away from self-driving cars and this and that. We could subsidize that from, Ubering out our vehicles at some point in the near future. I wish he would have as his running platform also is that individuals need to be getting paid for the data from their phone, their shopping info, where you see ads on the side of Facebook and all this stuff. You need to be compensated for that. That could take some of
You have talked about this 15 times on this podcast.
Well,
man.
I'm just saying.
You're beating a dead horse right
but
now.
It needs to be $1,500 a month.
But I wanted Joe Rogan to come out and just ask this guy, do you have a twin named Ying? Because that would have been awesome. The Yin Yang
and the
twin.
Yang.
Look, bitch, you done talked a whole lot of shit, but where do you see my dick?
Right?
Where do you see my dick?
Oh, God. Terrible.
That shit. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm going to take a break on that.
God, it's been 8-9 minutes, man. You walking away?
You don't get up. You keep brainstorming. We're free balling right here.
I just beatboxed, and I've never done that before. Have you ever? I'll wait till you sit down at the table. Do you ever order a meal that comes in a box, and all you got to do is open it up, take what's out of the box, read the directions, and cook it?
My sister has.
That was awesome. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, I have no idea what these meals cost. I would estimate probably somewhere around $15 to $20 a piece. But, I mean, I'm guessing it's aimed at the more millennial type of generation. That
she liked it. Her husband worked late hours.
I don't know if you're aware of this,
but
people our age are the parents of these millennial. Well, I'm older than you, so you're borderline millennial on your birthday, but I'm the parent of a millennial.
Generation X. Strange.
Well, you're 1980, so you're borderline because millennials started some sites say millennials began 1982, 1980 as well, not two. So you're like on the borderline. But my child is a millennial, so is it with these? I'm guessing, like I said, these things you like order a meal off of a website, you pay whatever amount, and it comes in a box. Now, I don't know if it comes with the meat, if they put dry ice in there to keep the meat. I don't know how that works. If anybody knows, please school me. I'm guessing if it's meat, it comes with dry ice. You take it all out. It's got directions, maybe like photographs of how to chop it up, cook it yourself. It comes with everything that you need. I get down to the spices maybe. But what I taught my daughter how to cook, so to speak. So are there other parents of millennials not teaching their kids how to cook?
No,
I mean, that's our fault. This is our fault.
No, this is not about knowing how to cook or anything like that.
No,
like I said,
my sister, not go to the grocery store and just buy some shit?
My sister uses this. Her husband works late hours. They get off at certain times of night, like 7, 8 o'clock, and then you want to go to bed early. You got to get up early. So instead of having to go to the grocery store and pick out these things and
it's too busy,
and all these,
too busy a life.
It just comes to your door, and it basically tells you, here's 2 or 3 chicken breasts, here's the vegetables with a season pack, and you just put this in the skillet, do this and that, and it just kind of, if you're if you have a lot of things going on in your life, which she did at the time, which I don't know if she still uses this, but at the time she said it was great. You know, it helped her a lot, saved a lot of time, took a lot of the thought out of it, and just.
Well, now that she's made that particular meal, you think she could go to the grocery store and just buy her own crap and recreate that.
Well, the point is to take out the part of going to the store, making your decisions and seasoning it and all that. If you don't have time for all that, this is a healthy way, a fresh way for you to, it comes to your door and you just do what it says real quick. And it basically, if you think about, you know, our moms, well, I don't know if you ate this stuff, but, you know, Hamburger Helper, things like this.
My mom would slap you if you brought a box of Hamburger Helper into her house.
That are very unhealthy for you, but they're
it ain't that. It's just.
But they're cheap.
You if you do that, you don't know a recipe. My mom's got a
right. Well,
look, Mom, God forbid the day that you pass. I hope you live forever with all my heart. But when you do, I'm going to take your recipe box and I'm going to convert that into a book and I'm going to make big fat stacks of cash.
Right. What I mean is that what this does is it gives you a fresh, you know, healthy meal that you don't have to go to the.
So you're thinking that it's made more for people who are just short on time. They just want to come home, have a
but
box,
they still
open
want
it,
it to be
cook a
fresh
meal.
and healthy, and they don't have time.
It's like therapy too to do that. Like when I cut my grass, it's just therapy time, man. Cutting up some green beans and you know, throwing this in a pan and reading the directions. I didn't know if it was geared for those who just don't have time, or if it was geared for those who just don't know how to cook, but kind of want to know how to cook a little bit.
Right. I just wonder if this is where we're going, which is basically we want information immediately. Social media is ruining us. We want 6 second. If the video is longer than 60 or 30 seconds, we skip to the next thing. I just wonder if this is this a sign of we're losing our.
No, I could, you know, now that you mention
attention span, basically.
Because I know your sister, and I know she's a very, very intelligent, you know, beautiful girl, woman, and she had a mother who cooked. Because I've been at your house, and your mom has had pots boiling over, and just all 100 things going on at once, and running back and forth in that kitchen, like to the point where you can't even walk through the kitchen because your mom will knock you over.
Before my sister was born, we grew up poor. We were poor when Stephanie came into the world, and my mom could make chicken livers and Spam taste good.
Yeah.
I mean, it
right.
was.
So it ain't that. I know that your mom passed that on. It's just so she's doing it more for a lack of time thing.
Yeah. She can cook. I mean,
I never really thought of that. But I think it's great that. And then I guess I've kind of changed my attitude because I was kind of like, jeering it, kind of thumbs downing it. But, you know, knowing that I would rather somebody do that could cook for her and her man, or vice versa, him and his woman, have a nice meal ready. I would rather them do that than to go and get takeout or something. Once again, we're back to the FDA and the USDA crap. You know, you don't know what you're getting, man, with that garbage fast food takeout crap.
True.
Corporate approved food.
But, you know, before all this whole food stuff and you know, all organic thing. I mean, those weren't available to us in the 80s, and me and you survived. I mean, we've been putting this through our pipes for
we weren't. Well,
for how long?
But you notice we didn't have peanut allergies. We didn't have autism per se. Wasn't really much. I mean, I never went to elementary school, middle school, or high school with a kid who had autism. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't have those problems. We had that weird kid that was always allergic to something, but that was just because his, you know, parents had bad genes. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But now he probably makes $200,000 a year and laughs at us. So we didn't grow up in that. You know, they weren't poisoning us as bad back then. I think in the 90s and the 2000s, they found new ways, cheaper ways to just spray poisons on it and make it last forever, make it longer shelf life, make it sweeter, make it taste better. You know, all that stuff. I mean, they don't. Even the wheat the bread we eat, man, is made with wheat we're not supposed to be eating that. That is GMO, dude, genetically modified organism, and we're not supposed to be eating it. And one of the favorite things that I eat, and this is going to sound bland as hell, but my wife brings home Publix mountain bread, and I just slap some real butter on it.
Never heard of it.
I love it. Mountain bread, it's just sliced bread that you buy up at Publix, man. Already sliced, got a little flour on the top, white dusting on the top. And it's already sliced. You just take a piece out, put a little butter on it, man. Just let me tell you what.
It sounds like mountain bread.
It is the best bread.
When you say that, I immediately visualize, like little nuts and shit all over the top of it.
That's just it. No, it's just regular white-ass bread, but probably made with that same wheat that, the flour is made with the same wheat that we shouldn't be eating. It's making us sick. Toxic, man. Toxic.
Right. I like straight up Sunbeam Thin King, baby. Like all white. That's what I like.
If I'm gonna buy actual
slap some bologna on it, I'm good.
Loaf bread, I get. There's this kind. I don't even know the brand of it, but it says it's 35 calories a slice, and that's because it's real thin. I like that. When I go to Burger King, which is rare, if I get a burger at Burger King, I'll get a Whopper. Plain. I eat everything plain. If you haven't been watching the show, this is your first foray.
This guy's
everything I eat is plain.
Culinary life has been very uneventful.
Yes, it has, and which is probably why I'm not 500 pounds. When I go to Burger King and I get a Whopper plain, just meat and bread, I take the top bun, whiz it, and I fold it like a taco, because the meat is this freaking thin, dude. So why do I need all that bread? I can't even taste the meat. So I throw away the top bun because that's less carbs I'm eating, less crap I'm eating. And I can actually taste the meat with the bottom bun, but taco style. So I want to taste that meat.
I bet you do.
Oh, yes.
I bet you do.
Yeah. My friends in the LGBTQ HILMNOP community are going to be pissed at you for your little comment there.
Man, it's so hard to stay
I can't keep up, dude. Well, like, I'm old too. As I don't know if it's my age, but I've even seen Rogan. I think he's a couple of years older than me, and he gets lost. And this dude talks about this crap every day. So,
the thing, I know. You've been married a long time, so you've been out of the game for a minute. But
what are you trying? I still got game, fool.
If you're single, man, it's funny that everybody's got to be politically correct, and you got to worry about people's feelings. But I tell you. You go out in the dating scene, nobody's worried about nothing. Like, they're just, they're all over the place. They don't give a shit. They crush feelings, do whatever, like, doesn't matter. But yet, you go on their social media and it's like, oh, you got to be for this and be for that and watch out for these people and don't hurt these people,
What do you mean I hurt your feelings?
See, that's what I'm saying.
I didn't know you had any feelings.
They're hiding behind stuff.
That's Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
Hello, me. Meet the real me. And I miss this way of life.
A dark black past is my most valued possession. You just keep on thinking it's my fault.
Nice story. Tell us to Reader's Digest.